So speaking of pitchers, I want to get your insight on this. Who are the top three pitchers that you caught, and what made them so good?
Kevin Brown had the best stuff I've ever seen. In fact, I've still never seen anybody in the game today with his stuff.
Hmm.
They might throw a little harder, but when you compare him to his contemporaries, it wasn't even close. You literally were in awe when he pitched and gave up a hit, and you were even more in awe, like dumbfounded if somebody actually got barrel on it.
Yeah.
It was nasty. I mean, it was sinking at 97. He had a nasty slider. He started throwing this split finger action. He had the turn, the big turn. He threw real hard, and he was an on the day he pitched. One of the biggest nerds you ever meet in your life, Georgia Tech nerd, on the normal days when he wasn't, but he'd rip a television out of the ceiling
Oh, jeez.
if he gave up a hit. That's how competitive that guy was. His stuff was off the charts.
Yeah.
So, and I would say I've never seen nastier stuff than him 96 to like 98, 99. It was insane.
Nice.
I mean, obviously, I got to throw Roy Halladay up there. Roy, he had a good two-seamer. It made his average curveball look really good because when the ball came out of his hand and it was at you, you were like, "Oh, I hope that's not the two-seamer."
Yeah.
And it never was. A lot of people were afraid of him, but it never was. It was never. He would never miss that bad with the two-seamer unless he was actually trying to neckball you.
Did you call his game or did he call his game?
Roy called his own game. My job. I always tell people when I'm anecdotal about Roy, it was a mental day off for me because Roy was so well prepared.
Yeah, he's a student, right? He was a student of baseball. Like he literally studied it all the time.
But if you knew what to look for, and that's where catching him made it easy for me to hit him. I hit him hard after I left the Blue Jays, and he hated me for it. We were friendly, but I mean, even the outs were loud because he told you what he was going to try to do to you with the very first pitch that he threw to you. Roy was he was singular in focus.
Yeah. And
if he thought he was getting you out with two-seamer, you're getting it until you do something with it. And then then he'll go to plan B. And he didn't have plan C.
Okay.
And he also did not want me to move around behind the dish. He's like, "This is where I want you sitting for my sinker. This is where I want you sitting for my cutter.
Yeah.
This is where I want you sitting for my curveball and my changeup." He goes, "If I can't get it to you, I won't be in the game long enough for it to matter."
So he was basically like what Bassett's trying to do last year with calling his own. Like if there was PitchCom when Roy was around, he would have used PitchCom on his own, just like Bassett did last year.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. He would definitely not. He would definitely not let somebody from the dugout call the game because I remember on multiple occasions Gibby went out to the mound to talk to him, and first thing he said to him was, "What are you doing out here?" Gibby was terrified of him. Gibby, I don't care. He won't admit it, but he was scared of Roy.
Gibby's a good guy though too. He's a guy that. Are you friends with Gibby still?
No.
No. I listen to some of the things he says, and I'm like, man, this guy would have been like a riot in the clubhouse. I don't know how players played with him, but he seems to have a lot of things come out of his mouth that are weird.
Yeah, not only the content, but the way he says it. I used to call him Sling Blade. The language that he spoke in interviews, I called Sling Box.
Well, everybody thought he was drinking in the clubhouse after the game because they couldn't. His podcast was brought to you by Bud Light, so
that dude knew how to stay in his lane. I'll say this, I would never accuse him of being Jim Leland as far as a strategist. I would have actually have paid to see that matchup managerially. That would have been one of the funniest things I've ever watched in my life.
He's with the Mets this year, so it'll be interesting to see him with one team that's not the Jays.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's funny. And like I said, he knew how to stay in his lane.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. He's an affable guy.
Yeah.
You know what? And it served him well.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for watching the Greg and Tim Show clips. If you want, click the subscribe button right in the middle here, and then there's an episode in front of me and an episode in front of Tim. Click on them. Keep on watching. Keep on watching and share with your friends. Thanks for watching the clip.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.